Hi, I'm Johnny. You know, sometimes ruining your childhood can be pretty fun. Like going back and watching a movie that you really, really loved as a kid just to see how stupid you were. Well, let me talk to you about it a little bit. I fucking loved the Problem Child movies. And I just loved the darn heck out of these things. And apparently I'm about to talk about more entertainment stuff from way back in my childhood, you see. There's a movie series about this orphan who is just really, really bad. He's a problem child, you see. So we all love Bart Simpson so much, might as well make more movies about bad kids, right? Right? But he was so bad that like the orphanage couldn't, find a place for him. He's a problem child, you see, and as he goes through his life, he does things that parents don't want him to do, but he continues to do them. And that's where the comedy comes in. He's a problem child, you see.
Evil! That's a wicked mind. Look what he did in art class. Skeletons, headless corpses, monsters devouring human flesh.
That was a big thing in the 90s movies. If a kid was bad, they were going to send him to military school.
Military school?
I was terrified of getting sent to military school. I was terrified of it. And quicksand, too. And also anvils, I bet. Anyway, back on topic. Problem child. Eventually, the nuns had found a home for him with this couple who had been trying to have kids on their own and couldn't.
You mean we've been doing it every night for nothing?
So they said, hey, let's adopt. And they go and they adopt this kid. It doesn't quite turn out the way they expected it. He's a problem child, you see. This movie was directed by Dennis Dugan. If you watched a silly comedy in the 90s, you probably watched a Dennis Dugan. He is responsible for pretty much all of Adam Sandler's filmography, Beverly Hills Ninja, and Saving Silverman. To get a sense of Dennis Dugan's filmmaking philosophy, here's a quote. Audiences that go to my movies don't want a message. They don't want my soul exposed or my life view. They just want to laugh. So we're really glad that he chose the subject matter of an orphan with behavioral issues. John Ritter, who is known for Academy Award-winning films such as Sling Blade and Stay Tuned and Bad Santa.
Where have you been?
Plays the dad. Then Gilbert Gottfried shows up. Affleck. Actually, he was the Affleck voice, and then he got canceled for making a tsunami joke. Then Affleck fired him.
Smart as attack, a little rambunctious, but weren't we all at that age?
As the Affleck voice, and then they hired a guy who sounded like him to do a really bad Affleck impression. Affleck! Back on topic. Problem child. I think he ends up being the principal. I don't know. I haven't seen it in a few years. But yeah, I'm gonna go watch them and we'll find out how great John Ritter was and how bad this problematic child could be. How bad can this problem child possibly be? How bad can I be? I'm just doing what comes naturally. Now I'm gonna watch the movie. I'm gonna probably make my wife watch it too. We'll see what it's like. Does it hold up? Do I still like Problem Child? Or is this movie riddled with problems? The movie starts off on a dark and stormy night and we see a figure walking through the rain.
Nice night to be born, huh?
And then they ring the doorbell and run away because that's what you do when you have a baby that you don't want anymore. You walk up to a house with it in a basket and you put it on the porch. At least that's what movies in the 90s told us. This is the start of us learning how big of a problem this child is. Because he's a problem child, you know?
Look at this place.
So they open the door and they see a baby there. It's a fucking baby.
Who on earth would want to abandon such a wonderful little baby boy?
He's a problem child, you see. When a baby pees on you, you take it to the next house in a basket and you leave it on the porch. And just because someone leaves a baby on your porch doesn't mean that baby's yours. You didn't just adopt that baby. You should probably pick up that baby and figure out where its parents are. There's like proper channels to go through, like the foster care system maybe, or an adoption agency.
Why don't you just take a look at this adoption literature and we can talk about it tonight?
Back on topic. Problem child.
There's no such thing in the world as a bad boy, I'm sure of that.
What does he know?
And it's a nice house. They've got a pet cat.
What a strange-looking dog.
We see the kid grab a thing of like soap.
I'll bet he's hungry.
And the cat eats it, and it's hilarious because then it burps, and it's burping bubbles. Actually would probably kill the cat, so let's not do that either. So he feeds the cat soap and they send him to another house. The dad in this house is like a little bit grumpy, and he's got these little toys, like a little toy bulldozer, and the dad stepped on him or something.
That's my dad.
And so the kid's like, oh yeah, well, I'm gonna show you. And he goes and he gets a bulldozer and he...
So you want to play rough, huh?
bulldozes the guy's trailer, you know? The people in the trailer park have had it up with him. You ran over our house with a bulldozer, you little shit.
Jeez, sorry.
You're gonna go live with the nuns in the orphanage. That's what they say to him, you know? Bad kids go to military school or an orphanage with mean nuns.
Not the nuns! Not the nuns!
Have you ever seen a nun in real life? I haven't. I mean, they might be myths.
No nuns. No nuns, none.
We haven't gotten there yet, but his name's Junior. And he's running amok in the orphanage, and he's being really mean to the nuns because he's a problem child, you know? And we know from TV shows and movies that if you want to show a bad kid, the best way to show that they're bad is by having them be mean to these, you know, mythical nuns that I don't believe exist. Did you know that Tom Kenny and Bobcat Goldthwait were friends since elementary school? It's not related to Problem Child, just nuns. But Bobcat Goldthwait and Tom Kenny, the voice of SpongeBob, met because they were both waiting to talk to the headmaster at their Catholic school because they had made some nuns cry in their different classrooms. And then they met because they were like, wow, you made a nun cry? I made a nun cry.
The cool crab.
Let's go make these nuns cry together. And then they made a lot of movies, and Bobcat was in Police Academy, and he had a screechy voice. And I'm not going to do it because it hurts my throat, but you know Bobcat's voice if you hear it. And Tom Kenny, another annoying voice. So I guess if you go to Catholic school, you probably have an annoying voice.
You dudes are setting a bad example.
Problem child. It's dinner time, and they're scrubbing up the food, or it's meal time. There's like an Oliver and Company type thing. Please, sir, I want some more. But he doesn't want more. He doesn't want it at all. He just wants to not eat gross. We see the food, and it's gruel. It's like what you pictured orphanage food looking like. It's this glob.
What are they putting this stuff?
And he's playing, so he starts playing with it, and he flicks it, and it goes on the ceiling, and it's stuck, and then the nun comes over. What are you doing, Junior? She looks at his plate, and there's no food on it, and then she looks up, and then the food falls on her face. And I want to point out, when he threw the food on the ceiling, it was an accident. He didn't do that part intentional. He was playing with the food, but he didn't mean to throw it on the roof. That was a ceiling. They take him to the headmaster. Gilbert Gottfried's there, and at first he's like, oh, this kid can't be that bad.
Now, there's absolutely no proof that Junior was in any way connected with today's trial.
And then Junior calls him a
What's
dick.
so funny?
You are, you stupid dick.
Like, holy shit, this kid's swearing? I thought it was a kid's movie. This is the last straw.
Evil.
The guy who runs the orphanage, he agrees that Junior has to go because Junior called him a dick. I'm sorry, if a kid calls me a dick, I'm kicking him out on the street too.
Stupid dick.
Junior
Evil.
sees this serial killer on TV.
A man described as evil incarnate.
Played by Michael Richards. You know, Kramer from Seinfeld.
A man called the fiend of the century.
And also the racist rant on stage.
No.
Bow tie killer. He wears a bow tie. Junior looks over and he sees a doll that has a bow tie on it, so he takes it and he's looking up to this guy and he starts writing him letters and they become pen pals. The rest of the kids in class are writing letters to like Queen Elizabeth or Desmond Tutu that kids should be looking up to, but not Junior.
Dear bow tie killer, how's prison?
So we cut to the parents. The doctor goes into some
This is your uterus.
blown out thing with a model and he's tossed. He's insensitive. He's really a jerk, and he tells them
You see, you are positively infertile.
he suggests that they could adopt,
Look, why don't you just take a look at this adoption literature and we can talk about it tonight?
which Florence,
Why don't you look at it yourself?
that's the wife's name, she says,
I don't wear secondhand clothes, and I won't have a secondhand kid. Adoption is out!
we're talking about a kid.
Jeez, sorry.
And I've had some problems, you know, with the basket thing, and I hate language like this where, oh, it's secondhand, blah, blah, blah. No, it's a fucking kid. Who cares if they're related to you by blood? They're a fucking kid. They need love.
rascals really make life worth living.
Which reminds me, I have never seen a doctor's actual office. I've only been in the exam
It
rooms.
doesn't matter, because you don't even have a yellow thing, and your green thing is brown.
They're talking to this doctor in like his office, like, and like stuff on the desk and pictures on the wall and his degree and then like medical stuff.
That's not supposed to happen.
Like, you know, stuff. Do people actually meet with doctors in the doctor's office, or do they just call the doctor's office the building where all of the exam rooms are, and then you go to an exam room and then a doctor comes in to you after you've sat there for about an hour and the nurses have come in and done all the hard work, and then the doctor says, oh, look at this. Okay, yep. Okay, bye. And then that's how doctors' offices work.
Here at the clinic, we pride ourselves on a 99% success rate.
So the nuns are pissed at this kid.
Junior, what is taking you so long?
And they're back to making him do a fuck ton of manual labor.
Today's my birthday. Look what they gave me.
It reminded me of Sword in the Stone when Wart is having to scrub the pot. He doesn't want to. He wants to go be a bird. So
I'm a bird, I'm a bird, I'm a bird.
goes and is a bird. Well, Junior doesn't go be a bird. He just
We start serving dinner in 20 minutes.
I only got 2 hands.
and then knocks this pile of giant pots down onto this nun. I think it's an accident. I think it was her fault, but like they're having this kid do all sorts of work that they should be paying somebody a lot of money to do. Big Ben shows up now.
Welcome to Big Ben.
And he's got some questionable language. He uses some racial slurs right off the bat.
You know your problem? You're too nice.
I think he's running for mayor too. He's just a dick. So we cut back to the bow tie killer.
Hey, it's a letter from JR.
He's in prison
Yeah?
and he's still wearing a bow tie.
Someday we're gonna meet up on the outside. We're gonna do some serious damage.
He's a problem child, you see.
Good news. I'm getting out.
What? He's getting paroled? They gotta be out of their minds.
He's a problem child, you see, and
That guy, he's crazier than I am.
and then the warden says something to him he doesn't like.
Well, if it isn't our model prisoner looking so pretty today in his little bow tie.
So he picks up a dumbbell and he throws it at him. And he knocks him off the catwalk that he's on, and he's definitely dead at this point.
Buddy, I hope I'm not rushing you.
So let's cut back to the Healys.
Nature screwed us over. Let's give commerce a try.
So Ben and Florence Healy are sitting in the office of the guy who runs the orphanage, Gilbert Gottfried, who is now dead. And he tells them, okay, it's going to take you about 7 years. That's a terrible Gilbert.
Let's see what I can do here. You want a kid you can love? I'll put you on the waiting list. You should have a kid in about 7 years.
So he says it's going to take about, it's going to be about a 7-year waiting list, and then we'll get you a kid. And she's like, oh, they're complaining. Well, we want a kid now.
7 years?
Unless...
And he says, well, I might be able to do something for you.
Nah, I didn't say a word. I did not say a word.
They give him a 7-year-old.
Just this morning, I came upon a 7-year-old.
So Junior walks outside of the orphanage and he sees his new parents for the first time, and
Oh, he does look very presentable in that little bow tie.
Adorable.
we get a voiceover because we've had annoying voiceovers with this kid's obnoxious voice the entire movie. But he sees Ben Healy and he's like,
You ever seen a grown man wear so much blue?
Hey there, little buddy.
I didn't know that was a thing. I didn't know that grown men were not supposed to wear blue. I will inform the next police officer I see.
Oh, I'm sorry.
But he's a bad kid, so he's gonna tell a lie. He goes up and he says,
Hi, my name's Junior. My favorite color is blue. What's yours?
and then they bond.
Oh, my favorite color's blue too.
Ben picks him up.
Perfect. He's wonderful. Come here. Thank you. Sisters, goodbye. Goodbye, kids.
So then they leave, and then the orphanage throws a party, like balloons, everything, the second they're gone.
Everyone's come out to see him off.
So Junior's first day home.
Wow, this is a great house.
Then Big Ben shows up.
Yeah, so what's this big surprise you dragged me over here for?
Well, Dad, here's a hint.
He's just a dick.
Finally! You and Flo cooked up a cute little kid for my campaign.
He's just a dick.
You know, I thought you were getting fatter, Mama.
And he hates the kid immediately. And he's like, what the hell are you doing? You adopted a kid? You don't know what his parents might have been. They might have been crazy or...
They might even be Democrats.
Junior doesn't like him, so he throws a cat at him.
You must feel horrible.
And then he steals the guy's wallet.
Yeah, but this might make me feel better.
Later that night, Ben and Junior are walking around in the living room, and Junior is looking at some desk.
These are Mom's private drawer.
That's your mom's sewing cabinet. And there's a bunch of dirty magazines with naked dudes in it. So this is still a kids movie, remind you. Still a kids movie, remind you. I think I'm supposed to say mind you. Back to the bow tie killer. Apparently he didn't murder the warden. The warden's still alive. He's just all bandaged up and making this serial killer talk to a shrink, because that's what happens when a serial killer throws a dumbbell at a warden. He talks to a shrink.
Oh, I see a furry bunny.
And the shrink's like, no, he's good. He's taking this Rorschach test and he's only seeing.
Furry bunny is running through delicate white snowflakes.
And again, back in the 90s, if you wanted to make a joke about psychology, all you had to do was throw in a Rorschach test and have somebody see colorful pink bunnies.
He's lying. That's not what he sees.
That's all that there ever was.
How can he see pink? It's a black and white picture.
The bow tie killer ends up strangling the shrink.
What do you see in this one? I see...
Takes his clothes and he escapes, and he's on his way to go see his friend Junior, who he doesn't know is a little kid yet. The next morning, Ben surprises Junior with a camping trip.
Y'all ready to go camping?
Because you can just spur of the moment go on a camping trip. It's taken me like weeks to plan camping trips and get all the supplies, and
I'm looking for a canteen with a compass on it.
you don't just go. A neighbor comes up, they ask about the kid. Oh, you got a new kid, and they introduce their kid,
I want
and
you to meet my son, Junior.
and the neighbor asks something about, like, why'd you adopt such an old kid?
It's so big. Yesterday they didn't even have a kid, and now they have a 7-year-old. That's gross.
Fuck you, neighbor. What, that kid deserves to just not have parents because he's older?
That's gross.
Fuck you. We get a neighbor dad.
Come on, Mr. Molasses. Let's go. We're late.
And he gives Ben a hat that says dad. And
Not your father? Try this on for size.
then he puts his on and it says super dad, and they're right next to each other. And it's like it's a dig at him a little bit. He's like, hey.
Gee, thanks, Roy.
He's like, hey, you're just a dad. I'm a super dad. I've got like 7 kids. He pulls him aside and he says, hey, Ben, check this out. And he's got this bear costume. He's like, I'm going to scare the kids.
Oh, he's gonna give the kids a big scare, isn't it?
Junior had noticed a sign that said, beware of bears.
Neat. Bears.
And he got some ideas going. And the other kids were being mean to him.
Let's give him the silent treatment.
Yeah, just ignore it.
So he pees on the campfire,
Ignore this.
which that's what you do. You pee on campfires. You haven't lived if you haven't peed on a campfire.
Peeing your pants is cool. Consider me Miles Davis.
Oh, that was the grossest thing I've ever heard in my life.
He goes and lures a big black bear back to their campground with a steak on a stick.
It's so much fun. There's singing, marshmallows, and all sorts of stupid humans to scare.
It scares everybody because it's a giant fucking bear. And Ben sees it and he's like, "Oh, it's the bear costume. Oh, that's really good."
This is great, Roy.
And then the bear picks him up and throws him, and then just walks away. The other dad walks up with the bear costume on, and Ben's had enough. He picks up a big old cast iron skillet and starts beating the shit out of his neighbor in the bear costume, and then he finally figures it out, whatever. He's a problem child, you see. So they're back home, and the bird...
Up yours, up yours.
And the bird knows how to say up yours.
Is that the only word he knows?
Dickhead.
And Junior's gonna go to a birthday party of some spoiled rich bitch. I call her a bitch because, like, she sees him and says, "I don't want him to go. It's..."
gross.
So, like, I hate this little girl, and I hated her when I was a little kid and I was watching this because I think you're supposed to. But at her birthday party, everybody's mean to Junior and nobody wants to play with him.
He's not even a real kid. He's adopted.
I hate this little girl, and they're all talking about how he's adopted.
You can't come out. It's my party, and I get to say who could watch my mag show and who can't.
I hate this little girl and making jokes about how he's adopted the entire movie. This movie is really fucked up about adoption. I want to point that out. This movie uses adoption and kids in foster care as a punchline in a really insensitive way, and it never really pays off. I just want to point that out now.
But he can't play with us. He's got cooties.
But during the party, everybody's mean to him, and then so Junior says, fuck it. Everybody hates me. I'm going to ruin this party. And he ruins the party. He starts throwing shit in the pool and ruining everything, vandalizing the house. We see the little girl whose party it is, and she's just crying, and we hear the song. Cry if I want to. Cry if I want to. Cry if I want to. You would cry too.
Perhaps this was the one step too far. This could be a problem.
Cut to the Founders Day baseball game.
The Founders Day game, it really doesn't matter who wins or loses, just so long as Big Ben wins for mayor.
Junior's never played a big game of baseball in his life.
The guy I'm staying with is the coach.
And Ben is the coach of the team who's been losing all the time, and his dad's really disappointed in him. But this is the Founders Day game, and his dad's running for mayor.
I'm running a campaign here. I have to look good.
So it's a big deal. Big Ben's running for mayor.
Don't forget to vote for Big Ben for mayor.
One of the kids needs a pinch hitter, so they put Junior in the game.
God's sakes, putting that little monster in the game.
He doesn't know what to do, so he swings and he throws the bat and it hits some windshield and breaks it. So Ben tells Junior.
Whatever you do, hold on to the bat.
And he gets a little smirk because he's the evil.
Good idea. Yeah. Hold on to the bat.
He hits it and he does not let go of the bat.
Drop the bat, son!
And he runs to first base. They're about to throw the ball to first base and he swings and he hits it. And it hits the kid in the chest, which would really fucking hurt.
No, that's no good.
And then he runs to second, and then he hits that kid with the bat. And then he's running home, and he slides underneath the kid's legs, and then he hits him right in the nuts with that bat, that's a lot of assault. So they get upset and take him to see a priest because that's the answer to everything. And Ben's really upset, so he runs to the confessional, but Junior had already snuck in there because he's a bad kid, you know. He's a problem child, you see. Ben doesn't wait for the priest to start talking because I think you're supposed to wait for the priest to start talking.
Father, I'm at the end of my rope.
He just starts
About my kid.
going off about how this kid is evil and
He's a real problem. He does the most terrible things.
he's gonna get rid of him.
Everybody hates him. Well, everybody except me, and I've had it with him myself.
So Junior hears all of this.
I'm gonna take him back to the orphanage.
No, you don't want to do that. That's the worst thing you could do.
And Ben leaves without ever hearing a word from the priest. He just goes in
My father hates him. My wife hates him. Everybody hates him.
and leaves. So they take him back to the orphanage, and Gilbert Gottfried's saying,
What am I supposed to do with the little creep? He's already been returned 30 times!
and then Ben has the first real human moment in this entire movie.
Stop! Wait! What are we talking about? 30 times?
And he realizes this kid has been kicked out of 30 homes. 30 families have told this kid that they don't want him.
My God, this is a human being we're talking about.
He changes his mind and he goes out to the car and he sees Junior sitting in the driver's seat
Junior, unlock the door.
and doesn't believe him.
You said you were gonna keep me forever.
So Junior steals the car.
Now come on, son.
You moron! You left the keys in the car!
Ben jumps on it and then they go on this high-speed thing and Junior's down on the ground, can't see anything, driving with the bottom of the steering wheel, hitting the pedals.
Turn left!
Ben's just hanging on for dear life and they barely miss hitting all of these cars and they end up crashing into the sporting goods store that Big Ben owns. Wipe out a bunch of shit. Big Ben steals little Ben's money and takes all of it for the damages. We see that Ben's reading The Exorcist because he's had it. This kid's evil. And he's about to murder him. He's got a pillow.
Uh-oh, he's lost it now.
And he's gonna smother the kid. But then a car pulls up outside and it's the bow tie killer.
Oh,
He's there to see his friend Junior, who's been writing to him, and he thinks this kid's real bad.
Get out of my way, kid. I'm looking for JR.
Real bad.
That's me, Junior.
And they're gonna go on a crime spree together. That's his whole.
Someday we're gonna meet up on the outside. We're gonna do some serious damage.
But then he finds out it's a little kid, and he's like, what the hell? Oh, they ask him who he is, and he says, oh, I'm his uncle. Ben and Flo start getting so excited that there's family. He can go with his uncle now. So the bow tie killer follows Flo into the kitchen.
I ain't been with a woman in 15 years.
And he just starts kissing her. And then this is a thing that I hate this fucking trope. The forced kiss, and then all of a sudden...
Did you say 15 years?
Doesn't hate it anymore and wants it and then likes it. I hate this fucking trope. They have sex on the kitchen floor, and it shows Ben in the kitchen at the table, just, twitching. He wakes up the next morning, and there is a ransom note written on the wall saying, if you want to see your wife and kid again, give me 100,000. But Ben doesn't care. He's 100,000. Fuck that. Get out of here. That kid sucked. So did she.
Junior, goodbye, Flo. Oh, I am so sad to see you go. $100,000?
So then he's going through Junior's room, just tossing shit, and he goes through the pictures, and he sees like, oh yeah, he drew Flo. Okay.
Yeah, right on the money.
Oh, that's a picture of me. Then he starts to realize that the kid actually did like him, and then he sees this prune in the thing that I don't know if I've mentioned it earlier, but earlier Ben had said, yeah, my grandpa gave me this prune when I was a little kid, and I've had it in my pocket ever since. It's a hardened prune. And he gives it to Junior, and Junior kept it, and it was in the drawer the whole time. So he's got to go save him. He meets them at a carnival.
We make a switch on the count of 3. You toss the money, and I release Junior.
At the carnival, for some reason, the bow tie killer no longer wants to just get rid of this kid, or is like trying to get the kid to choose him over Ben.
He don't want to go with you. He wants to go with me. How about it, kid? We'll go on a crime spree. We'll terrorize the whole state. We'll eat smiley pies until we drop.
Junior runs away, and the bow tie killer chases after him, and Ben finds a gun in the carnival costume stuff, and he goes to shoot him.
Hold it!
But it's a fake gun, so he doesn't get to murder the guy this time. And then there's a whole bunch of animal cruelty, because it's a circus. And then like there's this whole trapeze situation up there, just... There's always a trapeze situation. I was always afraid of that I'd have to end up swinging on a trapeze. Is that what it's called? A trapeze? I'm not going to look it up. I'm just going to say the word trapeze a few times.
There he is. There's nothing like going for an outing with your father.
Anyway, there's some random ass high-speed chase. Junior and Ben are chasing after the bow tie killer instead of just letting him leave. Oh yeah, because he's got Flo in a suitcase in the trunk. But they don't know that yet. They're chasing him, and Ben's got a shotgun.
Hey, that's Royce. Give me that.
Because he stole his neighbor's hunting truck.
Why? You can't drive and shoot at the same time.
What do we do?
I got an idea.
Call back to earlier. He shoots at the bow tie killer's car while Junior's on the floor driving again.
Go get him, Dad!
Faster, son, faster!
And it pops the trunk open. The suitcase pops out. Falls on top of the Jeep that they're in.
What the hell is going on here? Ben, I want a divorce!
Shut up, Flo!
We finally see Ben stand up to Flo, and some stuff happens, and then she goes flying in the suitcase still. And lands in some pig truck, and we'll catch that later. The cops catch up, and they arrest the guy, and the bow tie killer steals a gun from one of the cops, and he shoots Ben. He shoots him.
You little traitor! No!
And we think it's the end for our pal Ben, but it's not.
Are you gonna be okay?
Yeah. But the prunes had it.
The prune was in his pocket. And it saved him and it stopped the bullet. And like it's happy ending. And we have a voiceover. What happened to Mrs. Healy? Then we cut to the pig truck and we see the two farmers up in the cab.
Whatever happened to Mrs. Healy?
Hey, your pig's making funny noises.
Yeah, Big Miguel, it's got a bad stomach.
We see Flo open the suitcase and she sees a pig's asshole right in front of her. Actually, I think there's a pig scrotum there. So that's Problem Child. There were 3 of these movies and a cartoon series, and they're all pretty shitty. They're like, these are children you're talking about, not just, there's no such thing as a problem child. If there's some behaviors might be problematic, but that's not the kid. That's just something, like the kid's doing it for a reason. Find out why. So yeah, that's me talking about Problem Child. It did not hold up. Gotta say, it did not hold up. I could have gone without watching it again. My wife heard from the other room, and she heard enough to know that the jokes were pretty fucked up. You know, they're actual kids who need homes and are in similar situations to Junior, but much less comical. They don't have John Ritter. So if you do have room in your home or in your heart, please reach out to the local foster care agency in your area, because I promise there's a kid who needs your help. I'm Johnny Bryant, and that's been Problem Child.